And gentlemen, welcome to the Polar program. Obviously, this is not the show that we plan to do. Um, Charlie Kirk, a beacon of light in the conservative movement, a guy who is very much responsible for handing Donald Trump a second term, as well as a guy who has shared the gospel of Jesus Christ with millions of people, millions of young people, has been assassinated. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned.
The Paul Harrell Program.
Sorry. It's like one of those times where the format, I'm just going to cut the music completely out. Joined by my co-host, Rob. I know, I texted you about this when it first happened, Rob, and we were trying to figure out whether or not it was fatal, and then we got the close-up view that definitely looked fatal.
So I mean, I think we're all any conservative is, struggling right now. You think obviously the loss of a human life is it's heartbreaking and stuff, but then you just keep seeing all these pictures, and he's got these little kids, and you and I are both fathers, and you're just like, okay, this is a great loss to conservatives. This is a great loss to humanity, but this is an even greater loss to a family, and they have lost their father.
They lost their dad.
And a woman lost her husband, her partner in life. And, we're going to get into some good and bad over the next hour. The good is going to be harder to find right now. The good is, I will say that Charlie Kirk is a God-fearing Christian who lived his life the right way. You can disagree with his views on things, but he is a Christian, and if Charlie Kirk is not in heaven, then I struggle to believe that any of us have a shot,
Well, Charlie Kirk, as I said, where he posted somebody, and we have this tweet somewhere, I think even back on September 6th, he said, Jesus died so that you can live. And so I have there's no doubt in my mind that Charlie Kirk is with Jesus in heaven right now. I'm a Christian, and that is certainly a comfort there. And you look at the body of his work and the stuff that he said. What's interesting, and we've got another tweet that we can talk about where William Wolfe from the Center of Baptist Leadership said, what's so frustrating about this, and I'm paraphrasing, is that, Charlie Kirk is this guy who's on the right, and he built his entire platform over having honest conversations with the other side in an effort to convince them of the truth.
Yeah.
And they shot him for it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You can't, a lot of people are like, well, you couldn't beat him. You couldn't out-debate him. South Park even, he was such a big deal that South Park recently made a parody of him, and he loved it. He
made it his profile pic. He embraced it.
Yeah, the left hated it. They hated the fact that Charlie wasn't offended or hurt by it. They just like, he's just acting like he's not hurt by this. I'm like, no, he's a 31-year-old dude, and all of a sudden he is being parodied on this huge award-winning show known as South Park, and so it was a big deal to him. Like, I think I would be honored to it, even if they were ripping on me. Like, I would be honored. And so, I mean, so he's this person who, his stardom rose and his fame rose as Trump, came into the picture, the political picture. And Charlie rode it up with him. There's no other way to say it. And he was a huge part in 2024. We were talking about this off air, and how he delivered the young vote. I think a lot of the young vote could be attributed to Charlie Kirk
100%,
for
yeah,
for Donald
100%.
Trump.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And, tributes coming in.
Yeah, here's one tribute from President Trump. He writes, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead." I can't even believe. It's just it's so wild to me. I can't even believe that I'm saying that. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie Kirk. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. I don't know. I don't know really where to go from here. Other than there's so much to talk about. We don't know who the shooter is.
Yeah, I mean, there was reports there that allegedly a man was arrested, and can we just leave that shot, Paul?
Yeah.
Can we leave that shot where it's just got this good picture of him? And anyway, there's these alleged, reports there that this guy was arrested, and there was an older man that was arrested, and he was just saying, shoot me. And then there were reports there that wasn't the shooter. But I'm just really struggling to believe any reports right now, because right before it was confirmed that he had died, there were reports out there that he had been stabilized.
Yeah.
And you sent me a text, and it had basically just this incredible text that I didn't expect to ever get, and it was Charlie Kirk was shot. And I was working, and I had not noticed it, and so I immediately go to X, and he had been shot. And then you sent me a video, and it was a distant shot.
That's the first one I saw.
Right.
Most everyone saw.
Most saw that one, and it was like, okay, wow, he was shot in the neck, and he took a massive, recoil there. And so what it looked like was if that wasn't fatal, it was incredibly detrimental. Like he was in bad shape. And then I don't know, was it about 20 minutes later, you sent me another one, and it was the up close one where it was gruesome, and he was shot in the neck, and you could just see the wound.
It looked like he had lost
just a tremendous amount of blood
immediately
in a very short amount of time. And I remember, at that moment, as soon as I saw that video a couple of hours ago, I just said, I think he was dead before he hit the ground.
Yeah.
Now, there are reports that they were able to stop the bleeding,
get him to the hospital.
Get him to the hospital. He still had a pulse, and that's the same thing. But JFK made it to the hospital with a slight pulse, allegedly.
Right.
Now who knows? Who knows, right? But that he had allegedly still had a pulse when he got to the hospital. So, but there was just no way that they were. I saw that wound. You saw that wound, and there was just no way that he was going to be able to make it through that, in my opinion. And unfortunately, we were right.
So, at some point, I want to know who did this. I can't help but go ahead and talk about how immediately they had a man in custody, and now we're finding out that that's not the guy, even though he was acting very, very weird. Just the News, who was, I think, one of the first news organizations to report that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated.
Yeah, Just the News was reporting it before even anybody.
But they're saying that multiple sources confirmed his passing. Kirk was speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. Despite the initial statement from the school confirming that the suspect was in custody, the person initially arrested was apparently not the shooter, who remains at large. They are saying that this was the university is saying this was a shot taken at 200 yards
from a building
elevated. There's that tweet I was talking to you about. Jesus defeated death so you can live. September 6th is what Charlie posted. There are, a few eyewitness accounts, but this is the one that I want to get to that I thought was so interesting. hang on one second. This is a fluid show, so I've got a lot of clips here. Is this Fox News? Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So this is a guy adamant that whoever they arrested was not the guy.
Did it was a good shooter, a sharp shooter. It was one shot right directly to the heart, and we need to find out who did this. I think there should be a research completely done that took place hours, maybe a day before anything went on. Who could be there and pull that trigger and do it? And I don't think it was George Zim. He was poor, broke. He maybe was on medication, a little bit loony boon, maybe a perfect person to pick and say that did it, but I don't think he did it at all.
So at this point, but did you see him taken into custody? Did you see him with any kind of thing in his hand, any device in his hand or anything like that?
Yeah, I saw when they actually put the handcuffs behind his back.
Okay.
I followed them.
All right,
when
we're
they
going to go
took
to
him
Jason
the trooper
Chaffetz.
car.
Obviously.
Why would you cut
Martha.
away? No.
Martha.
Why? That is the most suspicious thing ever. Like, yeah, you're a news organization. Somebody is telling you what they saw, and you cut away from it.
Why would they do
Why
that?
Why would anyone do that? I mean, this is how conspiracy theories get started. I'm sorry to be worked up. I don't even want to go there yet. But like, why do you cut away when you've got a guy who is obviously he's going to be passionate. He just saw somebody get shot, and now we know killed. And they cut away when the guy, apparently he knew the guy they handcuffed because he named him George whatever.
He's like, this guy's poor.
He is kind of loony or whatever.
Yeah, he's loony.
Okay, so he knew the guy, and he's immediately saying it wasn't him. And he's saying that this was far off, and it was a sharpshooter, and somebody had to plan this for days.
Yeah, I don't know how you cut away from that. I really.
If you were any real news organization, would never cut away.
Yeah, and I know Jason Chaffetz had actually been at the event,
and that's
right?
fine.
And I get it.
You can. He's going to be sitting there 5 minutes from now.
He was on the show constantly when I was listening to it because I immediately turned it over to Fox News in my truck with the Sirius XM. I mean, that's what that was available. But regardless, here's the ultimate thing that we need to take away from this. Political violence has no place. Like, you can say this, and I don't know if I said this on air since we've been on here because my mind is just it's not clear right now, or if I said this off air. But someone, although heinous and evil as it was, could almost understand someone's motivation to try to take out Trump. If you think Trump is Hitler, if you think Trump is about to become president,
if they've been brainwashed,
if you've been brainwashed into all of this stuff, you can understand how a person's mind could go there where they just say, "I've got to save America," as demented as that is, right? Because when Trump is elected, he's able to sign all of these laws and all of these things that could affect your life or these people that you care about, whatever. I'm not trying to justify that, but I'm almost trying to say, like, you have a little bit more a thought process,
different degrees of severity.
Yes, except that Charlie Kirk talked for a living. He didn't. He's not powerful at all in terms of his ability. Like, he can't affect change for the laws. He cannot
vote or sign anything.
Yeah, he gets one vote just like you get a vote. And he went on these college campuses because he was speaking to voters. And he's going on these college campuses specifically because he believes that colleges, universities are indoctrination stations, right? We are going to indoctrinate you and make you a liberal. Because I know this for a fact. As a former high school teacher, a lot of my conservative students have then gone on to college and become liberals. It just happens, and that's a tale that gets told, all across the country. And all of these conservative parents are just heartbroken because they feel like they've raised them up right and they've taken them to church and all of this stuff. And they take them and they send them off to this university and they get indoctrinated. So Charlie did the right thing. He forms Turning Point USA and he goes on to these college campuses. And there are even college, campus specific, sections of Turning Point. So there's a Turning Point USA at this campus and a Turning Point
chapters.
Yeah, chapters. Thank you. I was just searching for that word. And so essentially, Charlie Kirk is meeting these people where they are. They are the future of the world. They are the future of this country, and he's meeting them where they are. And what is his shtick, right? What's his thing? His thing is, tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to debate you respectfully. When people try to boo someone asking a question, he's like, hey, no, don't boo them. Let's be respectful.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? And so he's debating. So you can't beat him in a debate, so you just decide you're going to kill him.
That's exactly right. To your point, I was talking to somebody earlier today who, obviously knew who Charlie Kirk was, and what he said was, that's the guy that really always handles the other side respectfully.
Yeah.
He always tries to give them the benefit of the doubt, and he tries to be kind in his words as he's trying to make his points. That's why William Wolfe, he said this over on X. William Wolfe is the head of the Center for Baptist Leadership, for those of you that don't know. He says, this gets even worse when you consider that Charlie Kirk, more than anyone else in America, on the right or left, built his platform making a good faith effort to model civil political discourse and debate in the public square. His entire project was built on reaching across the divide and using speech, not violence, to address and resolve the issues. That's, to your point. Charlie Kirk was literally the speech, not violence guy, and the left tried to kill him anyway. Of course, he says try because he wrote this before the news was announced that they successfully assassinated Charlie Kirk. If you're just joining us, I'm sure you already know. But Just the News is reporting that Charlie Kirk has died from his gunshot wound.
Yeah. All mainstream media is now picking up on it. Fox News, others. I have not seen CNN, but I'm assuming that they are also reporting it. And there's despicable people out there right now posting videos.
Well, Blue Sky, I hear Blue Sky is absolutely the worst right now with them people celebrating his death.
So when if you celebrate,
well, so I mean, look, that is what in fact is happening. This is what happens when you have both sides.
Yeah.
That believe they have the moral high ground. Both sides in this country think they have the moral high ground. One of us is right. One of us is wrong. The one side has lost. They have lost electorally. They have lost culturally. They've got nothing left. Demographically, they don't have a very popular future. I was talking about that today because, I was talking about that earlier today with Michael Albert over on Ex American News. I was on his show early this morning. And we were talking about that recent poll that shows what liberal Kamala Harris voters want who are female. Having kids is the last thing on the list. Men that voted for Trump, having kids is at the top of the list. So just that alone means there's going to be more conservatives than there are liberals because they're not having kids or because of on-demand abortion or what have you. So the left in this country, outside of engineered whether it's some sort of event like COVID or they're losing control of the media. They're losing control. They are literally losing right now. So this is what a caged animal does: is they lash out and they turn to violence. And this is going to. And people on the right have had it. I've had it. I mean, I was just talking earlier today. If all of the lawlessness continues in this country and nothing is done about it, people are going to start. They're going to vote for anyone who fixes it, and they don't really care how they fix it. Mm-hmm. Like Irina Zaruska on the train.
Sure.
Right? People are going to say, I don't care how you fix it anymore, just fix it. And that's where we are. And the right in this country is going to take this tragic news, and people have already said maybe it's not a coincidence that his organization is called Turning Point. Because maybe this will be a shift, and we'll actually do something about this.
Yeah, I saw a post on X, and I forget the author, but it just said this was the shot that killed the moderate right, and probably even the moderate left. Because I think if you are a moderate and you lean left, and your side, the side you're voting for, is literally so upset with a guy who's never committed a single solitary crime. You want to talk about his death. and you want to say, you're happy that his speech is now silenced. Why don't you just beat him in a debate? You can't. If you can't beat him in a debate and you think that the answer is killing him, I want you to really analyze what side you're on here and ask yourself, how in the world do you think that you stand on the side of righteousness when your side can't beat this man in a debate, and yet all of a sudden you just say, well, since we can't beat you, we'll kill you.
So those are the terms of war then. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about war because if you don't want to debate the other side and have a conversation and approach each other as equals. But hey, listen, I got to tell you, like, I'm guilty. I'm kind of guilty of the same thing. Like the other side, like, I look at the other side, like, I don't want to talk tax policy with somebody across the table. Like, what's the best tax policy for Americans? If I'm talking to somebody that believes men can be women and women can be men, I'm sorry. Yeah. I want to defeat those ideas. And then maybe we can talk about what the tax policy is. And we are defeating those ideas.
Right.
The American people are rejecting that lunacy. And,
they are,
and,
of course.
And now we have violence. And again, we don't know who the shooter is. I mean, 200 yards, high-powered rifle. The recoil that he absorbed was substantial. It was, I think, a high-powered rifle. That's what people are saying.
Was his last word violence?
It was the violence of the left is what he was talking about, or left-wing political violence, or something like that.
I think literally the last word that he spoke was violence when he was talking, and he was talking about how, the left has permeated this culture of violence, and then as he shot, like, could he have been more right? Unfortunately, him being right cost him his life, because he was, he didn't have to do these live events. He chose to do these live events, and I'm sure that he's a wealthy man at this point as far as what he's built with Turning Point USA, but I mean, he's not Donald Trump wealthy, and he's just he's so hardworking, and like when you listen to him talk, you're like, okay, even if I disagree with this guy, it's pretty damn obvious that he's done his research.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty damn obvious that this is a learned man. Like, he's not just out here spitballing, And then I want to say this, too. In the last 2.5 hours, Paul, have you thought about what we do?
Yeah, I have. I mean, obviously, what we are doing right now is at a significantly less.
I mean, we're no Charlie Kirk
scale
right.
In terms of popularity, but then you do think like, well, obviously, we want more listeners, we want more followers, we want that's one of the reasons we're doing this. If not just to obviously speak our mind, it's actually very therapeutic.
Yeah. If
you ever do something like this, but yeah, you think, okay, you get to that level, and now.
Yeah,
now you're very like anybody. We could all be Charlie Kirk tomorrow. Like,
what if we saw, what if we say something today on air or another day on air, and someone finds out where our studio is? I mean, we don't have some big sign in front of our studio, but someone finds out where our studio is, and you and I walk outside, and we're ambushed. And at this kind, like. Charlie Kirk could have been the most armed person in the world.
You got to assume he had security because he did get swarmed. He had his team carry him off immediately.
Unless he had Secret Service level protection, and
didn't.
Even at that, we saw that in Butler,
right.
that may not even matter.
Yeah.
Even if he had that level of, security, there's no guarantee. If this guy found this perfect perch, almost like the book's depository here, on the grassy, or was it on the grassy knoll in Dallas in 1962?
The thing is like he was right before he was shot. He bent down to pick the microphone back up, to give the answer.
You just wish.
After Butler, you mentioned Butler, so
yeah.
As I watched it,
well,
I would encourage you guys to not watch that video, by the way, especially if you're a female. Do not watch it.
If you see the video going around and it's an up close shot, so there are two prominent ones. One that's like straight at him, like looking head on with him, and there's another one that is on his left. The audience is right, and you see the exit wound there. Do not look at either one of those videos.
And there's now a few more angles, I think, as well from the other side. I have yet to actually see an angle from behind is where you could probably or possibly identify where the shot was. But I think the university itself knows. They're even naming the building, and they're saying it was 200 yards away.
Yeah.
Here's a guy by the name of John Harris, who's a good follow over on X. He writes, "It was a perfect shot from a high-caliber rifle. That was obvious as soon as I saw it. I cannot see any way he survived. Lord, I'm angry," he says. "I don't want war, violence, or social unrest, but it feels less and less of a choice we can make. The enemies are within the gates." And he quotes Psalm 11:5, "The Lord tests the righteous and the wicked, and the one who loves violence his soul hates." Everything about the left loves violence, from the sexual practices they champion to their bloodlust for abortion to the soft-on-crime policies to silencing those they disagree with. There's a real pattern, and here's the thing, we don't have to live like this, meaning it doesn't have to be this way, right? I mean, you're always going to have outliers, you're always going to have tragedy, but this is what people are this to your point earlier about this is the end of the moderate right, you're absolutely right, it is. Because Charlie Kirk was definitely on the right. There's no question about it.
Oh, yeah.
But there are a lot of people further to the right than Charlie Kirk, right? And
Sure.
and so to your point, it's like even somebody who is not on the far right, although some leftists would think he's far right. You see what I'm saying? Like he I don't know. Like it's like if they go after Charlie Kirk, if they successfully do that, then I get it when people say no enemies to the right. Like don't criticize anyone to the right of you. It's because of stuff like this they have in mind. At least I understand the concept. Is what I'm saying. So
I want to calmly ask anybody who is who's on the left here, who has spoken the words. Posted it on X, posted it on social media, anybody that has written out these words, the most dangerous threat that we face in America is white supremacy.
yeah,
I want you to ask yourself this question right now. When the F is the last time you saw the KKK lynching someone in the streets? Did they do it? Yep. But you're talking about something from years and years and years, decades ago. Now I want you to ask the last time that you saw the left commit violence. Today.
yeah. I mean,
it's not a singular issue. We've seen it many times. The transgender lunacy has got to stop. Folks, we've got to take back our country. If the inmates are running the asylum,
yep.
and that's exactly what we're dealing with. The inmates are running the asylum, and someone would say, "Well, we're in charge." Okay, yeah. The right is in charge, but is the right doing enough to keep the inmates in line? No, we're not. As obvious.
No, absolutely right.
One of our prized conservative voices, a father, a husband, a Christian, dead today because of words that he spoke.
Yeah. I just think about the lawlessness top to bottom. Like, I mean, from Irina Zaruska on the train now to Charlie Kirk. But then you think of all of like, look, our guy's in there, right? Our guy, President Trump's in there. Pam Bondi's the Attorney General. I mean, like, there's so much lawlessness of the previous administrations and the previous politicians who are criminals, and yet I know they're being investigated, or I know there's supposedly grand juries. But you know what I mean? Like, now is the time to demand that that this stuff, like, that there are measures taken to end this, and what you can do. All right, well, what could we do right now? All of these left-wing organizations,
Yeah.
if you received USAID money, you need to be investigated. all of these left-wing organizations,
even on the right, Paul. I will say that,
absolutely.
But I would shudder to think that there were no.
But
I mean,
you've got the media out there, promoting this type of stuff, saying like the right are fascist and making people think that they're going to have no freedoms left at all and everything else. And it's just crazy talk. And it's clearly radicalizing people. I mean, again, we don't know who the shooter was yet. I mean, again, 200 yards out. The shooter's still at large, last I checked. I need to refresh my feed and see. But, there are things that can be done to winnow our enemies. Because, you've got the institute, you've got people, you've got leftists who are in our institutions. They're everywhere. And it's just time to not only, purge that, but to keep it from happening again.
Well, Paul, I think keeping it from happening again is going to be a challenge, just for the simple fact that there are 330 million people in this country that we know about. How many millions of people were let in over the last 4 years who we have no idea who they are?
Yeah,
we have no idea what harm they want to cause Americans. You know what? I'm angry. Pull up J.B. Pritzker.
Okay. Here it is.
Listen to this son of a bitch.
Here's J.B. Pritzker. This is his reaction to Charlie Kirk being shot. I don't know if he knew that Charlie Kirk had been killed yet.
At this point, he did not know that he had been killed.
All right.
Charlie Kirk's family, and to Charlie Kirk, who obviously has, become a target for somebody. I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it. I know they seem to have somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. Trump. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it. We've seen the January 6th rioters who clearly, have tripped a new era of political violence.
Oh, okay.
So my sympathy to
J6's fault.
This is J6's
and
Trump's fault. You son of a bitch.
I mean, it's just it's so funny though. You just said that the J6ers rioted. All right, let's just say that, right? Notice he didn't say it was an insurrection. The J6ers rioted. Okay, yeah. All right. Roseanne Boylan was killed. Ashley Babbitt was killed. There was no guns. Nobody brought any guns. Let's just say it was a riot, and let's ignore the Fedsurrection aspect. Let's ignore the false flag aspect to squash Trump populism or MAGA populism. We can ignore all that. Like a riot, to go into the Capitol and rioting to try to redress your grievances on what was a stolen election, or let's just say what was perceived a stolen election. That's a lot different than bringing guns to political events and start killing people like was done here with Charlie Kirk.
What?
Try to keep it PG.
Yeah. The January 6ers had a grievance with their government. They took their grievance to the government. They took it to the political leaders. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what our Constitution calls for. They had the right to protest. They had the right to be there. And they had a disagreement with the people that were in those doors, and they took that disagreement to them. Now, they took it too far. Regardless of whether they were incited to go in there or not, they took it too far. They should have never gone inside that Capitol. I don't think that anybody who's rational believes that they should have gone in there.
Well, yeah, but they were invited and given a tour.
They were invited. The police moved the barriers and allowed them in some cases. We get that. But just because I removed this barrier doesn't mean that you should cross it.
But you can't even compare.
That's where I'm going with all of this. That and the assassination attempt of Donald Trump and Butler last year. That is polar opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, someone would argue, well, he had a grievance with Donald Trump and he took it directly to Donald Trump. No, he didn't take that grievance to him. He tried to murder him.
Yeah.
Okay. He was trying to murder him. And you want to talk about the moment there where that shot was a good shot. The shot to Trump was a good shot.
Yeah.
It just so happened the bullet gets fired as he is turning his head.
Yeah.
If you've seen some of the graphics there, of like the simulations, you understand that the back of his head would have been blown off.
Right.
You know, what we saw today was undoubtedly that someone was watching Charlie Kirk. They had to have been watching, because he was, you're right, leaning up, leaning back, leaning up, leaning back. And he does that with the microphone and all of that stuff. And they waited. They waited for the right time, and they got him. Both of those were good shooters. They had grievances with Trump. They had grievances with Charlie Kirk. And instead of taking those grievances to them, arguing with them, debating with them, standing in front of that mic in terms of Charlie Kirk, they tried to kill them. January 6thers took their grievance to the people that they had the grievance with. Do not ever equate these things.
Yeah.
I got a grievance with you, I'm going to try to kill you. I got a grievance with you, I'm going to go over here and try to protest.
Yeah.
These are not the same things.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And J.B. Pritzker has no shame. Listen, let me just say this. I think for you to have shame, I believe, do we have some video here or something? I'm going to make my last point here. I think for you to have shame, Paul, you have to have a soul. And it's hard for me to believe that a person like J.B. Pritzker will let his citizens die in the streets, especially in Chicago, to prove a political point to Trump that he's not going to allow the National Guard to come in there. He won't allow it to happen. And I believe that people like J.B. Pritzker,
I'm sorry. I know you're seeing this.
Folks, if you're watching or listening to this, I'm seeing a video. I'm seeing a video that you guys are not seeing on the screen, and it's
Charlie Kirk and his kids.
You know what? He's owed this. Play this video.
Okay. This is what Charlie Kirk is leaving behind.
He just this was him just friends.
Yeah, he hosted Fox and Friends recently. That's right.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. His grace uncrowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
So, yeah, that's what he's leaving behind, a family. This is a father. This is a husband. This is a Christian man whose life was taken from him by, we don't know. This is unconfirmed video. This is somebody named Chris Hardman saying he just got sent this from the Utah Valley University, and they're claiming this appears to show a shooter on a roof. I don't know if that's the case. Can you really tell if that's? I mean, that does look unusual.
Looks
there.
very, very much like someone could be crouched down there.
In the prone position, I guess, or is that what that would be called?
Guys right there.
Hang on. Oh, there's audio to this.
Oh, there's audio to this. Okay.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place? You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying. He just ran from over. Where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in.
Oh, so they saw him move. That is a human.
Just saying. Just getting around.
Interesting. So you think they assume maybe that was just some security or something for Charlie Kirk?
I don't know, but I can tell you that was if they're saying that this was sent.
I'm told this was sent to me right before. I'm told from
happened.
who sent this. This was right before everything happened.
Happens. Yeah.
Wow. Wow is right. Well,
what do you? I mean,
I don't know, because
we have a job to do, Paul. Obviously, we did not plan for any of this to happen. Our regularly scheduled time is 4:00 Central, Monday through Thursday here on X America News, and we stream. And can we watch Megyn Kelly's here?
Yeah, here's Glenn.
This is Megyn Kelly and Glenn Beck, both very good friends with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, so this is them finding out. So they were live. Beck was actually saying that he had her friend saying that there was a pulse, and so he was doing this interview.
He was
and
trying hard to keep hope
They're
alive.
reporting that Charlie has died. That he's dead. At the age of 31.
Yeah.
For words.
She would have to be if that video was real.
For words.
Yeah, I don't want to just play them crying. But Beck did end up saying the president has confirmed what I can scarcely bring myself to say. My friend Charlie Kirk is gone. Charlie Kirk is gone. In all my years, I've spoken tens of millions of words, but not tonight. I have none. Tomorrow, many of his friends and his Blaze family will join me on the national radio and podcast as we try to honor him. Rest well, Charlie, until we meet again. Again, here's that video of the alleged shooter on the roof. Again, it is incredible to me that we don't have this guy in custody yet. This is, it's strange. At least as from what I can tell, this guy's at large. The shooter is at large. Who is this guy and who did it? And you know what? What's crazy is like when you don't do this, now whoever they arrest, it's just going to lead to more conspiracy theories about who actually did they get the right shooter.
Hey, let's
play this.
Yeah,
all right,
let's something happy.
Here is Charlie Kirk the moment he found out that Donald Trump won.
Fox News decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's go.
There it is. Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
And if anyone deserves to get tears in his eyes, it's Charlie. I think we all agree.
I think Erica was chopping some onions or something in the break room.
No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone. Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania. It's beginning.
So my question is was that the second term or was that I'm sorry, Rob.
No, that was 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh, man. Emotions are obviously, folks, they're high. Here's Megan Basham, who is the author of Shepherds for Sale, which is a great book if you want to read it. She's also, I think, the culture reporter over at the Daily Wire. She says, there is no defeat in death for the Christian, and Charlie's faith was incredibly important to him. That is why he founded Turning Point USA Faith, to promote the biblical values that would uplift hearts and raise heads in the dignity of their Creator. She writes, I was blessed to know him and to be welcomed to participate in the organization he built, which had an impact on this nation like no other. As a friend just texted me, may Charlie's martyr death inspire all of us to greater courage and boldness. If you would see him again one day, then lay hold of the same salvation that was his. Again, Megan Basham. That's a photo of her and Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that is what Charlie. I mean, I don't look. I know. I've never met Charlie Kirk. Obviously, I'm familiar with his work, being in the field that I'm in.
Sure.
But I would imagine, just from me knowing his body of work, that he would want everybody out there to know that Jesus Christ is mighty to save sinners, and he would want you to know that about him in his death. I am 100% certain of that.
One thing that I love about him is just that he's so intellectually sound. You can disagree with his views and stuff, but he's so intellectually sound that he knows the history of the Bible. When someone tries to say, well, this originally this Bible and it's been misinterpreted, and he's like, no, and he backs it up with facts, and he's like, there is one true accounting of the creator of the universe, and that is our Holy Bible.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Are you serious?
I know I can't.
Are you serious?
This
These
is
soulless
House Democrats
soulless bastards
objecting to a request for prayer after the apparent assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Oh wow!
The Chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family.
I'm not exactly sure.
Just stick with it.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
This is what happens when you do things live.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication. The House will be in order.
We need to know who all these people are.
We need to know who they are, but at the same time, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what power you need to have to make these people stop, but I'm done. The yelling at the speaker. It's either the United States Congress and there's rules or decorum, or there's not. So either enforce the rules or go home.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the attitude of everybody going forward, as it should be, because there's no consequences for these people. And yet we have all the power, and no one suffers the consequences when they are blatantly corrupt and evil.
The right has been accused so many times of just being too much of a pandering source for the left. We justify it when we tried to talk about crime yesterday, and I was talking about the overwhelming statistics of black on white crime versus white on black crime. I feel like a tingling in my stomach saying, like, am I saying something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm just quoting a statistic. Mm-hmm. I'm quoting a statistic. So how am I saying something wrong? But yet I've been trained to say you can't say anything negative about black people, and there are so many amazing black people. And now I'm even justifying what I'm saying.
Always so it's the need to qualify.
Right.
We've always got
to qualify it. When the overwhelming percentage of crime is committed by one group, it is black males ages 18 to 49. And yet I have to sit here and say I love black people. I have friends who are black, which is true, but I'm just like you're saying, you're trying to justify it. The right constantly falls into that trap of, you know what? Yeah, there's supposed to be separation of church and state, but is God mentioned in the Constitution? Is God mentioned in the Bill of Rights? Or is a creator mentioned
in the Declaration? And then the Christian faith is inferred in the Constitution in Article 1, Section 8.
Correct. Yes. I mean, so you've got that, but do these Republicans who are believers in God, do they not have freedom of religion? You're just like, well, you can't respect it.
Yeah.
Here's what we know.
Well, I've got
go ahead. There are a lot of Democrats right now. There are people that align themselves with the left that are celebrating the death of a Christian. And then those same Democrats are going to go to church on Sunday. Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm just going to tell you this.
Maybe a rainbow flag flying church.
Hey, folks, if you are celebrating the death of another Christian and you go to church on Sunday, and you need a healing of your heart. That's the nice way to put it.
Yeah.
The other way I want to put it is maybe just stay your ass out of that church because you're a pretender. You are a pretender, and God sees it. And I sin. I am a sinful person, but we all are. Every human being walking the face of the planet has sin, but that sin was forgiven. If you are a Christian, if you have agreed to follow God, that even with your sin, you are forgiven. And the people who are rooting and cheering the death of a person today who is a God-fearing, good man, who you just happen to disagree with his words.
Yeah.
If Charlie Kirk had killed many people like Hitler, if he was just this dictator, if he was just this awful, evil person, then you might understand someone cheering his death. But the man spoke words. That's all he did.
Well, and so did Jesus Christ. You look about what Christ said. The world's going to hate you because they hate me, right? And so I think that's 100% applicable here. Again, as I said earlier, Charlie Kirk has stood up for Christianity in the public square, and he's challenged the atheist left or the New Age satanic left. I mean, he's done that on countless college campuses, and for that, the left has slandered him, and even in his death, they're continuing to slander him, or his near death when they thought he was still maybe alive.
Yeah.
This is the MSNBC coverage.
But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
So the hateful actions are what? Not Charlie's, because it's just words. So the hateful actions in this regard, I'm assuming, is you're trying to justify. Well, I mean, he had it coming. If he didn't want to be assassinated, he should have kept his mouth shut.
That's exactly what that guy just said.
Yeah, and then we have this was early on, just a 14-second clip of how unserious MSNBC was taking this.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
I know you're laughing, but you don't think it's funny at all. It's laughing at the ridiculousness.
I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of it, and honestly, because this hour is so horrible and depressing, I actually just want to feel something that's not sadness and remorse not remorse, but just misery.
These vile human beings that work at MSNBC, some of these people that celebrate this, like this guy, I mean, I want to say he's a vile human being, but I think for you to be a human being, you have to have a soul. And
we all have souls.
It's hard for me to believe that this guy has any sort of soul, that if it's a soul, it's rotten. It's, and again, forgiveness, folks, for the destructure, whatever you want to call it, the lack of structure of our show today, because we were going to have an in-studio guest today.
We pushed him to tomorrow.
Yeah, we were going to have just this totally different, and then
we're going to talk about, weirdly enough, I mean, so random, we're going to talk about squatters' rights. I mean, we're going to talk about other stuff too, but we just bailed on the whole thing because we just thought, I mean, it wasn't right. Who cares about squatters' rights right now?
This is what's going to be talked about, rightfully so, for some time.
But Aaron McIntyre, responding to the unbelievable moment on the House floor we just listened to. Representative Lauren Boebert requests a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk. Democrats can be heard shouting no. And R.N. McIntyre, I think this is what Democrats rejecting prayer for a dead father and husband. And he says we can't live with these people. Like that's the elephant in the room here. That's what's going on. Like there is so much division, and
they proved it,
and
they proved that they're at fault.
And there's not going to be there's not going to be outside a like Nineveh-esque miracle, and meaning like Nineveh and Jonah, like outside of that sort of miracle, there's not going to be a shake hands and kumbaya moment. There's going to be winners and there's going to be losers, and I'm sorry, I want to be on the winning side for the sake of my family and families like Charlie Kirk's.
Yeah, I think if obviously if you are a Democrat member of the House and you objected to, if you objected to the prayer being said today in the chamber, then you were the kind of person who cheered when you heard that he had been shot, and for that you do not need to serve people. You don't need to be in the position that you're in. You have no redeemable qualities, and that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, to kind of wind things down here for the day, I'm trying to just do a quick search if we've got any latest news to report. Protestia saying more than anything else, more than talking Turning Point USA or his memorable debates or his role as a family man, let it be known that Charlie Kirk loved Jesus and is in his resting arm. That's where we're going to end it. We're going to end it right here. Yeah. Protestia's done a good job of this. So I'm just going to read these. A few tweets from Charlie Kirk. Jesus will give you peace. Give your life to Jesus. He will rescue you. Jesus heals. Jesus is the answer. Give your life to Jesus. Matthew 19:25-26. When the disciples heard this, they were greatly astonished and asked, who then can be saved? Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. And then he posted Mark 15:33-34. And when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, I can't pronounce that, forgive me, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? This was his post on Good Friday, and he thanks Jesus for your amazing and unthinkable sacrifice. You died so that we would have life and life in abundance. It was 9 a.m. when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, the King of the Jews. And then we have more. This was on May the 8th. Let's pray that more people would come to know Jesus. Today we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. This is a real event in history. He is risen. He says, skeptical. Here are 10 irrefutable historical facts that show the resurrection of Christ is real, and he goes through them. And then he says, but the angel said to the woman, do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, as he said. Come see the place where he lay. Oh man, I'm just realizing something that I read. That's when this morning in the Bible. I didn't read the one from Matthew. I read the one, I think, from Luke. For some reason, I don't know why I was drawn to that passage, but I read the story out of Luke today about his resurrection. That is kind of surreal. And then here's these ones. Jesus defeated death so you can live. The resurrection of Jesus is a fact of history. It really happened. Jesus rose from the dead. Tell someone about Jesus this weekend. Hebrews 12:1-2. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Thank you to Protestia for compiling a lot of those things that Charlie Kirk has said and posted. And as I said earlier, he has been a guy who not only stood for good policy or a conservative brand of politics, but he was an outspoken Christian, and he told people about Jesus, and he told people that they needed Jesus. And so we're going to continue following this story. Pray for his wife, Erica. Pray for his kids. Pray for the family. Pray for our country, because we are divided. And I don't discount a miraculous move to heal our nation. I don't discount that, and so we should pray for that too. We should pray that the lies are exposed and people's eyes are open to the lies. They're open to their own sin, and that we would turn to Christ in moments like this and look to Him to heal our land, and look to Him to heal our country and heal our own hearts, and that the light would continue to expose the darkness, because there's a lot of it out there. And today, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But right now, he's in the presence of our Lord, and he's safe. And as Christians, that should tell us that there's no hill that we can't take, because if God is for us, who can be against us? So even in the midst of these, this terrible news, you look across your life, whatever it is. Whether it's personal sin or you got to go, you've got ambition, you've got things you got to conquer, you're a soldier in the kingdom. Whatever that hill is, you can attempt to take it with confidence because of Christ, and because you know what, if it doesn't work out, the Lord has a purpose for it, and the Lord is your rock and your redeemer and your security. And that's where I'm going to leave it, Rob Spencer. All right, folks, this is the Paul Harrell Program. Thank you so much for being with us. We're going to end the show, and we will be back with you tomorrow. God bless everybody out there. Again, pray for Charlie Kirk's family.